Hey guys, and welcome back to another unboxing. Today we have the Orc Commanders. Now this is a finecast set, so let's break this open. Now I'm going to be only assembling two of these models because the others I'm going to convert because I technically already have them. So the two I'm going to be making and actually assembling for you guys will be the Taskmaster and the Shaman. So it comes with four models. Okay, here we go. So let's first look over the standard bearer. Okay. Lots of nice detail there. Obviously it will need a lot of cleaning up. Now the standard bearer, I'm going to use the standard part for my Urukai with banner. There we go. So as you can see, some nice crisp details here. One or two little air bubbles, one by his foot, but you can't really. No, that actually isn't an air bubble. That's a detail. Now there's one by his sword there. But like I say, I'm going to convert this model anyway. So some nice sculpting. I do like these older orcs, all the metal ones. Like I say, this is the metal version here, which I'm going to paint up. So let's have a look at and compare. See if it does this. Okay. You know, the detail, I think it's because it's quite reflective, the metal that shows it. So, but I think they both have very good detail, and but finecast is a lot easier to work with, and you don't have the trouble with banners being really heavy like that, falling over. So that's the banner bearer. Next we have the Orc Captain. Now a few minor issues with this guy. Is first, the pickaxe is in a strange position. It would need bending back. However, I'm going to be converting this guy because I technically already have this model. So the fur pelt's really nice. Let's just get rid of a bit of the papery stuff. I'll leave it. There's a few little bits of mould in this, like the mould rubber, but okay, that's the detail there. The problem is with this model is it's got a mould line running down the whole model, and this is quite a big issue, especially there. So it's a good job on converting this model. Gosh, that is a really bad mould defect. Oh dear. Good job I'm not using this model properly. But another one I will be using is this guy, the Taskmaster. This is technically the reason I bought the set, because it's the only way to get this guy now. Before, he was in a set with the drummer, just them two, but now he's just in the set, and the drummer's with the Morannon Orcs. But I really like this model. If anyone remembers playing Return of the King game, this was one of the Orc Captains, and yeah, it just looks really iconic, and it's from the movie as well. So it'd be really cool to do like a scenario with this guy and Frodo and Sam in orc armor. So yeah, this has got the whip there. So that model is really detailed, really nice. Especially like the face on this. Focus. There we go. Really nicely detailed. Okay, and last of all, the Orc Shaman. Shaman, however you like it. I like the Moranin sort of armour on this guy. Now, these two models, this one and the old version here, they were very similar poses. However, I do like a slight difference in pose. And seeing the difference in this, now this guy was stripped once, so the detail is affected a bit with that. However, the crispness of this model is so much better. So I'm going to really enjoy painting up this guy. So like I said, with this, this is the captain. I actually converted this to have a cloak and different fur because I don't like to have models too the same, and they were a bit too similar before. So I converted him off. Anyway, so I'll get this model and this model built up, and then we can talk about a bit of the rules. Okay, guys? So, guys, positioning, but here we go. It's the Orc Shaman. Considering this is an old model now, it holds quite well to the detail. And right, okay, this is this one. I had a bit of issues with the whip. I'm still gonna fiddle around with that for a bit, shaving off bits. It's got a bit of quite poor detail on the whip, but I suppose it's only a whip at the end of the day. But I repositioned it to make it a bit more dynamic. I'm going to have to fill in that gap a little bit, so it's just about as if he's trying to, or just about to, order some orcs. Yeah, very nice model though, really pleased. Right, okay, so I'm going to talk about what they do in the game. Well, actually, I think I'll talk about the orc choices, generic sort of heroes and stuff like that. Okay, so obviously Orc Captain's going to be a staple. These guys are great. Bringing in I converted this one to have a sword, so he can feint, but the typical one can piercing strike with the little pick. That's really useful. Usual might and everything, and stand fast. So, however, I think it's a great achievement to be had by mixing these two guys. Now, Shamans, you want to be keeping them out of your combat, keeping them behind your lines and safe, and they come with two magical powers, Transfix and Fury. Now, Fury is the more interesting power, as I'm about to explain. Fury is cast on a roll of a 6. No, on a roll of a 3+. 3+. So that's really useful compared to the 5+ of casting Transfix. Now, what Fury does is it lasts for the turns until he loses a combat. I think that's right. If that's wrong, please comment below. But any wounds can almost be ignored on a 6+, so on a roll of a 6. So it's almost like a fate point, but more importantly, they automatically pass any courage tests within within 6 inches of this guy. So this guy's got a 12-inch range of a bubble of all courage passing. So when you use that with this guy, especially when your force is broken, if you position your Orc Captains within 6 inches of the Shaman, it just expands your bubble. So you've got the 6 inches there, and these give an extra 3 inches to your sort of courage bubble. So that's really useful. So a mix of Shamans and Orc Captains is perfect for your force. These to take the melee on, and these to hold back and keep your orcs fighting. Now typically with an orc army you want to get quite a few basic standard troops, and okay, so that's those two. And likewise you can get wargs and stuff, and wargs actually a really good choice for a Shaman because you can keep him moving around really fast and all around the battlefield. Okay, so sorry about that. Next we have the Taskmaster. Now the Taskmaster used to be in the set, these two, the Drummer and the Taskmaster. Now the Taskmaster is a bit more expensive than your average captain. He is 15 points more standard, I think. Just get that right. Yeah, that's right. No, 20 points more, but 15 points if you give your captain a shield. And that's the only downside to a Taskmaster, is it's got no upgrade ability. However, being defense 5, it doesn't matter too well. Defense 5 is okay. Ideally you would want him defense 6, but as you can't upgrade him, well, that's by the by. So what can he do? Now his special rule, whip of the Taskmaster, or no, whip of the Masters, is to do with your hero's might. So on the roll die 6, if he gets 4 or more, if a hero is calling heroic action or heroic shot or anything like that, he doesn't use up a point of might. So it's really handy for keeping your might store up, and it also applies to himself, I think. So he's also got a whip that's strength 2, range 2 inches, but you're not really going to use that much. It's just the extra shot. But his ability to sort of boost the captain. So I think these two really help with boosting your troops and your current heroes. And the same goes for the Drummer. Now the Drummer is a strange hero really, because he's just got the standard profile of an orc, except for he's got a higher strength. Actually, he's got a higher firepower as well. That's correct. Now he's the same points as a captain, with 1 fate, but no might, no will. But with special rule, it works within 12 inches of him, and movement value is increased by 3 inches. So this is really good. It gets your troops moving really fastly throughout the board, but they can't charge on that turn. So, but getting them into battle is brilliant. However, these days you end up starting quite close to your opponent anyway through the Hobbit strategy battle game. So I think you got to watch your points with this guy. Sometimes he's worth it, but sometimes he's not. So just assess. Well, it depends on the battle really. So that's these guys. Obviously you've got your banners, but they're really useful as well and pretty standard. So these special heroes and your standard orcs. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. If you've got any questions, just post below and I'll catch up with you later. Thanks guys, take care.